going, everyone? Welcome to another video. In today's video we are going to be seeing 3 true gym horror stories. And I like going to the gym. If you guys have seen my older videos back in the day, I used to go to the gym quite a lot. I do. But we're going to be seeing 3 true horror stories that have happened to these people. Let's see how true they are. Let's see how fake they are, I guess. These are animations, so let's go ahead and dive right into it. Story number 1.
Lift that little bit more every day. It became a routine with us, the girls at the gym, bonding time, as much as it was about filling each other in on the gossip of the day and toning muscle. The gym was a mix of regulars and newbies, all of us working toward our own goals. There was this one guy, Ben, who seemed to be there almost as often as we were. He was tall, with messy hair and an awkward demeanor. Now and then, I'd look up and see him watching me in a workout or something. But every time I looked up, he would look away quickly. I shrugged it off as benign. Gyms full of...
Bro's just like a regular gym bro, man. Come on, dog. Just a regular gym bro, can't talk to girls, but is super jacked and is good looking. Well, he's not good looking in this animation, but you know what I mean.
People who take sneak peeks at each other, are they not? Anyway, he didn't look like somebody to say something, so I didn't give it much thought. But then, one day, Willow had a cold. She texted me in the morning saying she was sorry for not making it to the gym. I almost thought I could skip it too, but the pouring rain outside gave me not much else to do after school. So I decided to stick to our routine and go alone. When I arrived at the gym, it was dead silent. The buzz of conversation that typically filled the air was replaced by the hum of steady rain and the sound of it splashing against the windows, metal weight against metal weight. I went upstairs into the women's section and realized by 5 p.m. that I was all alone up there. It was kind of creepy, but I enjoyed the privacy. I decided to stay a little longer, pushing myself harder than usual. When the squats were done, I moved on to the bench press. Usually, I would take 2 dumbbells and leave it at that, but today was going to be different. I wanted to make a point, so I used the bar instead. And, as expected, I started on the light side and went up from there. I was in the zone, focusing on my form and breath, when I realized someone had taken up a position by my feet. My heart missed a beat as I looked up to see Ben hovering awkwardly near the bench. But there he was, with the same nervous grin, and for a moment I thought about ignoring him. But he made a little small talk about the weather or some insane thing like that, and then asked if he...
Nah, bro, they've done my boy Ben dirty, bro. What they made him so ugly to begin with. Where's his neck?
Could help me with the weights. It was not an uncommon sight for people to spot at the gym, so I didn't think much of it. I thought he was perhaps only being courteous and nodded, allowing him to stand behind my head as I gripped the barbell. "Need a hand?" he inquired, voice surprisingly steady.
"Sure,"
I replied, trying to keep it as casual as possible. Ben placed his hands on the bar and helped me lift it off the rack. It seemed fine at first. He added just a little more weight after every set of 5 reps, pushing me just a little farther than I was used to, but nothing too extreme yet. I could feel the burn in my arms, the kind of pain that seemed rewarding for a good workout. Then, it got heavier. The barbell felt heavier than anything I'd ever lifted and fought against my muscles.
That's why I say stop.
I told myself just one more rep, but as I let down the bar, my arms wouldn't push it back up.
"Okay, I'm done,"
I said, fully expecting Ben to be able to assist me as I racked the barbell. Instead, he added more weight, and now his face was unreadable. "Don't worry, I've got you," he said with his hands on the bar. "We'll lift it together." An alarm bell rang inside my brain, and I really should have stopped, but I didn't want to look weak. So I let him guide me through another lift. My arms were shaking, and my breath was coming in short gasps when he did. "So, Vinny, will you go out with me?" he mumbled, and in a strange kind of intensity. I froze, my heart pounding for a different reason now.
Oh, hell no, man.
No.
I managed to say, my voice shaky. I just wanted to get the barbell back on the rack and get out of there. and just as quickly as he had held onto it, Ben let go of the barbell. The immediate lack of support was horrific. The weight came crashing down toward me, and I had to summon every ounce of strength to keep it from smashing my throat. Panic set in as my arms screamed in pain, unable to keep it up because I now realized I couldn't do it on my own. As I thought I had finally cashed out my chips, Ben grabbed the barbell and racked it. I screamed at him.
What were you thinking? Are you crazy?
He began laughing in a way that went through to my bones. Relax, Vinny, that was just a prank. He responded with a continued grin.
Now, why have they, okay, I guess he's a bit weird, right? Like, he's super weird. But why have they made him so fucking ugly? Bruh. Like, what is up with his eyes and his teeth? Like, bro, brush your fucking teeth, man.
Hey, I was gonna let you get hurt. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My whole body was trembling, not just from the workout, but from fear. This wasn't a joke. This was something else entirely. I didn't say a word as I quickly grabbed my things and bolted out of the gym. The rain outside was now a welcome cold shower compared to the heat of panic that had taken over. When I got home, I was still shaking. I told Willow everything, and she immediately wanted to report Ben, but I was terrified. What if he followed me and turned into some kind of crazy...
Nah, bro, what is his face, man? Like... Well, okay, I get the idea of, you know, being super creepy and everything. Like, that is very reasonable. I've seen that happen at the gym and everything, right? But why have they done that to his face? What is that on his face? Like, what is this? What the hell? Like, what is wrong with his face?
Stalker. I couldn't risk it, so I begged her to let it go. We both knew the gym was off limits for me from now on. From that day on, I never went back to the gym. The memory of Ben and his terrifying prank still haunts me. I'm grateful that I'm safe, but I'll never forget the fear that I felt that night.
Okay, scary, but ain't that scary. Alright, story number 2.
To a small town in Kansas was a big change. The pace was slower, the nights quieter, and everything felt, well, emptier. But I needed the shift, a new job, a fresh start. One thing I wasn't willing to give up, though, was my gym routine. I'm a gym freak, and I take my workouts very seriously. So, naturally, finding a good gym was my top priority. I found one that met my expectations, a modest place with all the essentials. It wasn't fancy, but it had the equipment I needed, and it wasn't overcrowded. Usually, I'd hit the gym around 6 p.m., but one night I got stuck at work late and didn't make it until 11 p.m. The place was almost deserted, just like the rest of the town. Only one other person was there, an older man who must have been in his 50s.
Nah, bro, they've done him so dirty, dude. Like, they've done him so dirty. Why have they done him so dirty?
Maybe even older. He was ripped. Massive biceps, broad shoulders, and a chest that looked like it had been chiseled out of stone. His hair was gray, and he had a beard to match. But it wasn't just his physique that caught my attention, it was the way he moved, with a confidence and ease that only comes from decades of dedication. I tried not to stare, but he caught me sneaking a look. "What are you watching over there, kid? Come on, spot an old man." I hesitated for a moment, then walked over. There was something about him, a kind of old-school charm mixed with a strange intensity that I couldn't quite put my finger on. "Sure thing. You got quite the setup here." He grinned and settled onto the bench press. I took my position behind him, hands ready to assist if needed. "Been at this for years. Competition, strict diets. No steroids, though. Be natural and you'll live a long life." There was a sincerity in his voice that made me believe every word. He pushed the barbell with steady, controlled movements, and I spotted him. After a few reps, he racked the weight and sat up, wiping the sweat from his brow. "You got a good smile, young man. You have my blessings. Tomorrow's gonna be a good day for you." I didn't know what to say, so I just thanked him and finished my
what do you say? It
workout.
sounds like a
Something
friendly
about
combo.
him lingered in my mind, though. He wasn't just fit, he was almost ageless. like he had discovered some secret to life that the rest of us were missing.
What?
The next day, I went about my business, but then during lunch, something strange happened.
Okay.
A woman I've been locking eyes with at the coffee shop finally came up to me. She was flirtatious, her voice playful as she complimented my smile.
I've seen you around. You have the kind of smile that makes a girl want to know more.
We spoke for close to an hour and exchanged numbers. I was taken aback, but I remembered the old man's words from that night before. Tomorrow's gonna be a good day for you. Was this what he meant?
That's just good luck.
That evening, excited and
what's scary
curious, I
about
headed
that?
back to the gym. I wanted to thank him to see if he had more of those cryptic predictions. But when I arrived, the gym wasn't empty like the night before. 3 other people were there, but the old man was nowhere to be seen. I approached one of the guys who looked like a regular. Hey, do you know the older guy who works here? Gray hair, built like a tank? The guy looked puzzled for a moment. Then his face paled. You don't mean Daniel, right? Man, he was a legend around here, but he died a few years ago. Heart gave out while he was
Holy
benching.
shit.
Worried it up too much. What's this about? I felt the blood drain from my face. No, that's impossible. I just spotted him last night. We talked. He was giving me advice about staying natural, saying tomorrow would be a good day. The guy's expression shifted from confusion to something darker, something closer to fear. He didn't believe me at first, but as I described more details, his skepticism turned into genuine concern. Together, we approached the front desk and convinced the security guy to pull up the footage from the night before. My heart pounded in my chest as we watched the grainy black and white video. There I was, alone, entering the gym, going through my routine. No sign of the old man. Then it got weirder. The tape showed me standing by the bench press, talking animatedly to nothing. No old man, just me, alone, acting like I was spotting someone invisible. What the hell? As we watched in stunned silence, something on the screen caught our eye. The barbell, the same one I had supposedly spotted Daniel on, started to move, lifting slowly into the air on its own. It hovered for a moment, then dropped back onto the rack with a clang that made us all jump.
Holy
The
shit.
room was dead silent, the weight of what we had seen hanging in the air like a thick fog. I felt like I was going to be sick. I spotted a ghost? The gym was eerily quiet after that. The 3 of us stood there, staring at the screen, too afraid to move, too afraid to speak. The realization that I had spent the night working out with the spirit of a dead man was more than I could handle. I stopped going to that gym the next day.
Well, that story, right? Like I guess it is scary. I mean, like, again, the true part of it, I don't know, man. Like, firstly, ghosts can't lift physical objects to begin with, right? If they can't, like, if they go through a wall, it's because they have that, they can like, just walk through shit, you know, they can't lift stuff. So, I don't, like, bro, you must be high on some shit, bro. There's no way in hell you spotted a ghost, because ghosts, number one, they can't lift shit. They can't lift shit. They can't lift shit, man. Jeez.
February used to be the
Nah,
month
bro.
I dreaded the
Nah.
most.
What
The
is Case O doing on my screen, yo?
cold, the loneliness, and the constant reminders of love everywhere. It felt like the world was conspiring to rub salt in my wounds, grinning ruthlessly. But that February was different. I'd spent most of my life being the butt of every joke, the target of every taunt. Merry round Jemmy, the fat bald nobody took seriously. But it never really got to me because I had Stacy. She was my best friend, and the girl I secretly loved. Kind, sensitive, and beautiful.
Bro wants to just tap. Bro wants to just tap. He just wants to tap. He wants Stacy.
Stacy was a fairy. She had a way of making everyone feel special, and unlike everyone else, she saw the human in me. So,
Bro's gonna be having such a good gym arc. Trust me, he's gonna be having an insane gym transformation after Stacy breaks his heart. No offense, but that's gonna happen.
on that Valentine's Day, I finally mustered the courage to tell her how I felt. "You've been nothing but kind to me, Stacy," I whispered. "I love you so much that it hurts to be just a friend anymore." For a moment, she just stared at me, her eyes widening in surprise.
Oh, that is a horror. I'm not gonna lie. That is a horror story in its own way, man. That is a horror story in its own way. Bro's got 500 Days of Stacy. Bro got Stacy Land. You know, like La La Land, Stacy Land. Nah, bro. This is the horror story. I guess this is his gym transition part.
I waited with bated breath for her shy yes. Then her face contorted in disgust.
Jimmy, I'm sorry.
Nah, bro. The disgust part is outrageous. The disgust part is outrageous. Holy shit.
But I don't see you like that. You're great, but
We're just friends.
we can't be.
We're just friends.
Her words hit me like a punch in the gut, and she kept plunging the knife even deeper.
Honestly, Jimmy, I never thought you'd think we could be more. I mean, look at you and look at me.
Oh my god. That is outrageous. Okay, he could have just said no, we're just such good friends, and he could have even had some self-respect and moved on, but no, she just kept on going and going and going. Like, a simple no could have just sufficed. You don't have to rub it so hard, bro. Although his gym transition would be fucking insane, but there's absolutely no reason to keep going hard.
It just wouldn't work.
It was a deep sting, more than a bully's taunt ever was. I had mistaken things. Stacy was sympathetic. That was the moment I decided enough was enough. The next day, I signed up at a gym. My trainer, Mark Porter, was a caricature of masculinity. Broad chest, bulging arms, with the strangely caricature of masculinity. Broad chest, bulging arms.
Fuck! What's between his legs? Nah.
With the strangely skinny legs. He looked like a distorted version of Johnny Bravo. We kicked off right.
Nah, bro, they've done they've done the villains. Sorry, so dirty. The old man, the guy Ben, not this guy.
From the moment we met, Mark was quite verbal with his
They've given him
appreciation
such massive boobs.
and encouragement, but it was never his words that raised the alarm. His touch lingered a little longer during adjustment. The unnerving intensity would always leave me panting and shivering. The way he smiled, with a hint of something I couldn't quite read. Everything about him made my skin crawl. I threw myself into the workouts, but the weight was stubborn. Frustration ate away, with Stacy's words playing on a loop, driving my desperation. One evening, as I wiped the sweat from my face, I overheard Mark's hushed conversation with a gym member. They were talking about a nectar, some sort of elixir for bulking.
Yeah, it's called steroids, bro. It's called steroids. It's called SARMs. It's called selective androgen receptor modulators. Okay.
I determinedly approached Mark. He winked with a knowing smile. "I can get it for you," he said. 3 drops, twice a week, and let the magic unfold. Keep working out, though. The first dose felt like a revelation. I woke up the next morning feeling lighter, and the scale confirmed.
No, man, that's not how it works. First queso lookalike, you gotta lose the weight. Then once you lose the weight, then you gotta bulk up. That's so... Nah.
A slight drop. I went to the gym with a spring in my step, but as I worked out, I noticed something odd. Strange shadows twisted and warped at the edge of my vision. My head whirled. Mark was closer. His hands were reaching out to me. The air grew colder, and I heard a low, persistent buzz. Whispers began, voices murmuring my name seductively.
That's
I felt an unsettling pull towards Mark, drawn in by an inexplicable urge. Just as I was fisting his hair, the janitor arrived, breaking the eerie spell. We parted. I picked up my things and was about to dash out when Mark leaned closer. "Take a full tablespoon tonight," he mumbled. "We'll continue where we left off. If you get sick, I've got the cure."
Wait, what were they doing before? Why was his hands in his hair? Like, were they making out or something?
Despite my instincts screaming otherwise, I nodded. I went home and, against my better judgment, took a full tablespoon of the elixir. The next morning, I was met with my worst nightmare. My hair came out in clumps, my eyebrows were gone, and red rashes covered my skin. My stomach was in excruciating
Bro got
pain.
gynecomastia as well.
that left me unable to eat or sleep for 2 days, until I finally forced myself to see the doctor. The truth shook my whole existence. The elixir wasn't a weight loss supplement. It was date rape drugs, causing hallucinations that tricked my mind into thinking I was losing weight. Horror consumed me. Mark was a scammer. I reported Mark to the gym, and he was fired. But he evaded legal consequences. I was too scared to press charges, knowing I'd be implicated for buying illegal substances. The experience left me scarred, but it also opened my eyes. Real change couldn't come from shortcuts. It had to come from within, slowly and steadily.
Well, at least Queso learned
I
his
picked
lesson.
myself up, one step at a time. I started working out again, but this time for the right reasons. I needed to love myself before I could expect anyone else to. Stacy's rejection.
Well, at least, bro, at least if here's a lesson. This shit happens. This shit happens. I know personal trainers, you know, giving their clients like all these drugs and everything, you know. But this shit happens in real life. So it's a good thing, you know. This is like a natural transition in life. You get heartbroken, you get fucking jacked, and then once you get jacked, you just start loving yourself a lot more. And that's pretty much how it is. And he's going through it right now. So if anyone's going through this right now, you've been heartbroken, you've got some like really, really deep rejection. Like Stacey's rejection is, by the way, outrageous, okay? But this is free motivation, dude. Get fucking jacked and start loving yourself.
And had been a harsh wake-up call. I realized that my worth wasn't defined by others' opinions, but by how I saw myself.
You're looking hella cheeky though. Hella cheeky.
As the months passed, I noticed real progress.
Heck yeah, dude.
Mark tried reaching out, but I shut all the doors. The weight came off gradually, but
Heck yeah.
more importantly, I began to see myself differently. I no longer sought validation from others.
Let's go.
Stacy's words still echoed in my mind, but they no longer held power over
Stacey
me.
for the streets,
I had learned
yo.
to forgive and let go of the past. Nowadays, I feel a
Holy
sense of
shit. Look at my boy. I know it's an animation, but just look at him. I'm feeling fucking proud of him, dude. Let's fucking
peace
go.
I hadn't known before. My reflection smiles back at me, a reminder
Let's
of how
go.
far I've come. February will always be a reminder of my darkest moment, but also of my greatest triumph.
Alright guys, that's it for today's video. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel. It really helps out, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Cheers.